Our top story this hour: the United States has a commitment to defend Taiwan in case of an attack by China. That's what President Joe Biden has said in his latest comments about escalating tensions between China and Taiwan. Biden was speaking at a CNN town hall. Following his comments, the White House said U.S. policy on Taiwan remains unchanged. That's to support the island's self-defense and oppose any unilateral changes to the status quo. Taiwan reacted as well. It said it will neither give in to pressure nor rashly advance when it gets support. Biden's comments are likely to draw China's anger. That's why China regards Taiwan as its breakaway province and is strongly opposed to U.S. military support for the island. Beijing says the support emboldens Taiwan in its push for independence. Just 2 weeks ago, U.S. media reports revealed that American forces had been secretly training Taiwanese troops for months. Jason Unruhe joins us. He's a political commentator. Jason, welcome. What's your take on this? Why this sudden obsession with Taiwan, this saber rattling by the Biden administration?
Well, I think this is part of a longer strategy that's been going on for many decades and will probably be going on for decades to come. Obviously, China has been expanding its influence, not just within Asia and Africa as well, but building artificial islands, claiming territory, etc. Taiwan stands as a very useful place for the United States. Well, they can always prop up Taiwan as some kind of alternative example to whatever's going on in mainland China. It's also a very important military strategic point. Now, obviously, anytime you have a superpower like the United States, there is always a placing of weapons near enemies. This was previously done by the United States with Turkey aiming nuclear weapons at the Soviet Union. This is very much a continuation of that very policy. I mean, this is something that empires do. This gives the U.S. a justification for having its navy very close to Chinese waters, if not, depending on how close the actual two countries are. Because they can always say, well, our ships are docked at an ally's port, so we have a right to be there, etc. This is something that's been going on for some time now. So this is part of a larger potential military situation.
Right.
Now, obviously, when you have two powers like the countries set up against each other, they're going to look for ways to maneuver their militaries in positions that aren't aggressive acts, but let the opposing side know that they're serious.
Jason, but Washington doesn't even have official diplomatic ties with Taiwan. Do you see this as perhaps a policy blunder by the Biden White House? I mean, does Joe Biden think he can bully China? Does Joe Biden think he can bully the People's Liberation Army?
No, obviously, because there is no official relations between the United States and Taiwan. Obviously, there are unofficial ties, and a good deal of U.S. manufacturing is in Taiwan. That's nothing new. And it was, I believe, in 1979 when the United States ceased recognizing Taiwan as the legitimate China. I mean, there's no official relations there, but I don't think that really matters that much. The two countries know the nature of their relationship. They know that they're at the beck and call of the United States, whether there's any official documentation to that or not. And Taiwan very well knows that the United States is what's keeping it from being forcefully rejoined with the rest of China like it should. So while there's no official thing here, I don't think it's really a misstep or anything by Biden. I think it's something that they're probably working on behind the scenes. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some kind of official agreement coming up soon. These kinds of things require documentation. They require a legal standing in order to be able to function, resolve disagreements, etc. So Biden, obviously, it is the U.S. flexing its muscle against China, just reminding them that we are here, we have a location close to your country, and if you decide to make a misstep, we're here to do
Right.
something about it. I sincerely doubt that the Chinese military is intimidated, but it's Biden letting them know that they're there.
Right, and Jason, we can say that there is history here. Biden's predecessor Trump tried to intimidate China, and that didn't exactly go to plan, or did it?
Well, depending on how you look at it. I mean, Trump placed numerous tariffs on China, trying to pressure it to not only undermine their growing economic power, but to try to stimulate production at home. Obviously, this had a very negative effect on the market, created a great deal of anger. The retaliatory tariffs caused at least Trump to sign a billion-dollar pledge to help American farmers because of a lack of exports to China, etc. It seems that it's rather silly to do that to somebody who's your number one trading partner. I mean, you're really just hurting yourself in that situation. Although technically you're hurting both, you are undermining yourself at the same time. And Trump is not known for being a very good statesman and has a tremendous proclivity towards being very on the spot, reactive, not really thinking things through. So that's something we can probably see different from this administration, the administration under Biden, who's probably going to take it a bit slower and create some kind of long-term plan.
Interesting. Jason, thank you very much indeed. Jason Unruhe, the political commentator, joining us live out of the Niagara Falls.